Okay, today we're going to do a simple knot video. You only need 2 knots. I'm going to show you those 2 knots today. I will add a third bonus knot that I do use from time to time. It's a very simple knot and good for fluorocarbon. But let's start. The first knot you're going to need, if you're starting with the spinning reel, I suggest you learn this knot, and I suggest you tie braid onto your spinning reel. Braid will last you years. So if you go with a 10-pound braid on a spinning reel, and then an all-around 6 or 8 pound, 6, 8, 10-pound fluorocarbon, that should get you by for most things. Okay, so for all intents and purposes, the orange line here is going to be your braided line. This white line is going to be your fluorocarbon or your mono leader. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is take your, and I'm using these strings so that you can see a little bit better in the video than what would happen with fishing line. Try to keep the diameters as close to each other as possible when you're using fishing line. So you're going to take your fluorocarbon, you're going to make a loop. Okay, this is the rest of your line. Then you're going to take your braided line and you're going to go through the loop, and you're going to wrap it 6 times down both sets of lines. I'm actually probably going to do it less than 6 because these ropes are very thick. We're going to go 4 times, but you would wrap, you see how there's 4 wraps there? Actually there's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crosses over both lines, okay? Then you're going to pinch it here, and you're going to go back over those spots where the fluorocarbon is. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. This got twisted. And 5. Okay? The key to this knot being successful is whatever way this line is going, it's coming back from the back going up. You want the other one going out the same way. So they're both coming out the same way. That is the key to this knot, is they're both going the same way. If you've got one up here and one down, it's not going to work. So once those two are the same way, you're going to pull both of these lines, and you're going to kind of push this knot up the line as you go. And that's what you're going to get left with right there. It's obviously big and bulky right now because it's 2 thick lines, but that knot is foolproof. I've never had that come undone. If you snip too close to these edges, you can nick that knot, and then you'll lose it. But there's your knot, and you're gonna pull it, make sure it's not going anywhere. That's not going anywhere. It's a great knot. I do caution you, this fluorocarbon, like there's that little nub there, that will get caught on your eyes from time to time. So you do want to clip this as close to the knot as possible without nicking the knot. If you can do that, just the tagged end, cut it off, and you can get close with that. The braided end, I leave a little bit of a tag end there. Okay, that's knot number 1. Forgot my hook. Knot number 2. We're going to use the orange because you can see that a little bit better. Now this is for every other knot that you're tying to a hook or to an eye of something. Okay, so pretend this is the hook eye. This is the Palomar knot, and there's a little trick to this that a lot of guys get wrong, and then they'll complain that they're not broke or something like that. If you do this little trick, you won't have that problem, even with fluorocarbon. So you're going to go through the eye once, back through twice. So you've got that in essence. Okay? And you're going to pull them all up together, like so. You're going to hold them like this. So all you've done is take your 4 lines and you're about to make an overhand knot. So that loop goes through there. Okay? So that's all you've got. You've made an overhand knot. Now where a lot of guys make the mistake is they cinch this down all the way. I keep my fingers in here, and this loop needs to be big enough to go around whatever you've got. Your hook, your frog, whatever you're doing here. So I've went around there. Now my fingers are keeping that initial loop, 1 finger, 2 fingers, whatever. So you can see there, this is the part that came around the hook. And I've got this, the overhand knot that we started still held with my finger. I'm going to pull this up over the top. That's the part right there. This loop has to be on top of your knot. If you keep that on top of your knot, so I'm going to put my finger there and I'm going to pull that down just like so. That, and pull both of them tight, and then each one individually. That is the trick. If that, once you made that loop, if that goes on top of your knot, you're good to go. That's not cutting into itself. That is going to make, that's going to be a strong knot. It's perfect. That's going to be great. All right, third knot, bonus knot. It's a cinch knot. If you're not content with doing that Palomar knot, you think that's going to dig into itself and you want to do a cinch knot, this is the cinch knot. It's super simple. You're going to go through your hook eye once, back through, just like you did with the Palomar knot. It's a lot easier when you got 30 yards of line versus a couple feet here. So basically you've got that. Same thing you have with the Palomar knot. You're going to pull and pinch here, right? Like you did with the Palomar knot as well. You're going to take these 2 tag ends and wrap it around these 2 lines 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. You should have a loop up here, if you can see that. Should have a loop here. You're going to put your 2 tag ends through that loop. Okay? Like so. Then you're going to pull your hook down, pull your tag ends up, pull your loop up, and cinch it all down. Okay? And what you've got left with is one of these lines is going back to your rod, and you're going to cut off 3 tag ends. So you've got a loop and an extra tag end, and you're just going to cut those right here, anywhere. I leave a little bit so you've got basically that. And that's fine. That's not going to scare the fish. And there's your 3rd cinch knot. That's what it's going to look like. Okay. That's it, guys. That's the beginner knot session. You only need those first 2. You only need the Palomar and the braid to leader knot. If you're only going to use monofilament or fluorocarbon or braid, then just use the Palomar knot. You can technically only get away with 1 knot that way, but I suggest using braid to fluorocarbon, especially on your spinning rods. Not sponsored, but the 2 lines that I use are Power Pro 10 pound and Sniper, Sunline Sniper 8-pound. That's on every one of my spinning setups. And that, if you learn that knot that I just told you, that I think it's called the Alberto knot, the connection knot, you'll be good. And practice your knots. When it's a snowy, rainy, cucka day, sit in the house, take 2 lines like I had, or 2 fishing lines is better, it's easier, and practice tying knots, and you'll be good to go. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.